GTM Podcast Porisat The Cannibal EP20. Hello everyone, you are listening to GTM Podcast Porisat The Cannibal. We hope you are enjoying this series so far and learning the Buddhist wisdom as well. If you're enjoying this program, like, subscribe, and share this podcast with family and friends. Since this story is about the Buddha's past life, the characters' names and culture may be unfamiliar, but the story and its lessons are well worth your time. In case you have not watched or listened to the previous episode yet, we suggest you go back and listen to them so you can enjoy the story and won't miss a thing. In the last episode, Earth angels witnessed the exchange between King Suttasoma and Porisat. They admired the king for stopping the cannibal from eating human flesh and gaining his promise to keep the 5 precepts. Their praise for King Suttasoma resonated throughout the forest. The angels in Jatum-Maharajika heaven heard the good news, rejoiced, and echoed in unison what happened. Their voices resonating higher and higher through all the realms until it reached the Brahma world. After Porisat accepted all the wishes and received the 5 precepts from King Suttasoma, he was afraid that once released, the king would be angry and harm or kill him. He asked King Suttasoma to receive a pledge from the kings that once they were released to freedom, they would not harm him. When every king accepted this pledge, King Suttasoma asked Porisat to cut the ropes binding the kings to the trees and clean their wounds. Porisat boiled fruit to make juice and pour it down the throat of each king for nourishment. Within 3 days, the king was strong, healthy, and their wounds were completely healed. King Suttasoma said, "Now that all of you have completely recovered, go back to your cities. You are safe." The kings agreed and decided they should travel together. When it was for them to depart, Porisat knelt at King Suttasoma's feet with tears in his eyes, and a trembling voice said, "My friend, I ask you to take these kings back to their kingdoms. As for myself, I will stay here in the forest and eat roots and fruits." The king asked, "Porisat, what will you do in this forest? Your Kasi kingdom is a beautiful place. I ask you to return and rule over your kingly possessions at the capital city of Benares, as you did before." Porisat said, "My friend Suttasoma, I cannot return to the capital city because I am the enemy of my people. I have eaten their fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, and relatives. They condemn me, saying that I am a violent cannibal, and banish me to live in the forest. If I return, they will stone or kill me. I will not be able to harm them, even though doing so would be easy for me. I will not hurt them because I receive and observe the precepts with holy purity. Because of this, I do not want to return." The king knew Porisat was weary and desperate for his life. He said, "Our names are Suttasoma and Porisat. Even though you were once a violent person, I was able to make you calm. The people of Benares will be forgiving. I will make it possible for you again to be the ruler of your kingdom. if I fail, I will give you half of my possessions. Do not worry about this." Porisat exclaimed, "Even in your kingdom, there are people who do not want me to live. How could I rule in your empire?" King Suttasoma sympathized with Porisat. He understood that he was willing to abstain from eating human flesh. He accepted the 5 precepts, and he had given his life to the king. He knew he must help Porisat return to rule his kingdom. Then he thought, what if Porisat remembered the happiness he experienced in his past? Maybe he would be delighted to return to his kingdom. The king began, "Porisat, remember when you consumed delicious foods cooked with 4-legged animals and birds that the chef prepared as if you were an angel in heaven? Why would you leave these to eat roots and fruits alone in the jungle? You experienced all the ladies of the court dressed in beautiful garments, encircling and relaxed you like the angels surrounding Indras in heaven. Why would you leave this attention to be alone in the jungle? You slept happily in luxurious and beautifully decorated bedchamber. Why would you leave this comfort to sleep on leaves and dirt alone in the jungle? At dusk, with torch blazing, women in magnificent garments would dance and sing sweet song while swaying to the rhythm of the drums beating in harmony. Why would you leave this to listen to crickets alone in the jungle? Your garden was glorious with many different species of plants and fragrant flowers. You had stables filled with horses, carriages, elephants, and so much other wealth. My friend, why would you leave these to be alone in the jungle? Think carefully. Don't you have any regrets? Are you sure you can live alone in the forest?" Porisat listened intently to the description of the happiness of his past. His mind followed along with the vivid memories of happy days and nights spent at his palace. He could almost taste the delicious foods, smell the aromas of the beautiful gardens, and hear the glorious sounds of the music playing in the night air. Porisat said, "Thank you, my friend, for reminding me of my past treasure life. Since this is your wish, I will do as you ask and return to my kingdom." Then he praised King Suttasoma and spoke of the benefits of meeting a good friend. He said, "When the full moon wanes to the new moon, it loses light daily. This is like having a foolish friend. You deteriorate and become unstable every day just as I have. Since I acquainted myself with a foolish chef, I committed sin, which led me into suffering. But when the new moon waxes to the full moon, its light increases daily. It is like having a wise friend which brings you prosperity every day, just like I have. Since I was acquainted with your majesty, I have only performed good deeds which have brought me happiness and stability. There is no harm in being acquainted with a wise friend. There are only benefits for the rest of your life. Being acquainted with a foolish friend will make you damaged. Therefore, the virtue of a wise friend and a foolish friend are extremely far apart. This is the Dhamma as it was revealed to me by my Majesty from the teaching of the Brahmin Nanda." Once what seemed like a nightmare for Porisat passed. King Suttasoma and Porisat, along with 101 kings, left the jungle to go to Benares. When they reached the border, they met the villagers, and King Suttasoma recounted the whole story and said that he was escorting King Brahmadatta back to his kingdom. After the people understood that King Suttasoma successfully converted Porisat to nonviolence, they were delighted and helped provide shelter and food. In addition, many of the villagers followed the entourage to the capital city. King Suttasoma, surrounded by the 101 kings and the villagers who followed in a caravan, reached the entrance to the kingdom. King Suttasoma ordered everyone to stop and rest. He sent a message into the kingdom, announcing the return of King Brahmadatta. Will King Suttasoma be able to bring his friend Porisat, the 101 kings, and the villagers into Benares? Will the nobles and his subjects accept Porisat back as their king? What will happen next? We will find that out in the next episode of Porisat The Cannibal.